Their problem is that they're not in the right families in this community. Are people like you, members of your family, trying to consolidate your power so you can control this town?
Of course, that's a very foolish position to take.
You're the mayor, your brother's the sheriff,
Right.
everybody as far as I can see, everybody who's in any kind of position of authority has your last name.
My father was one of the founders of this community, and there's a big family of the Barlow family. And we've been active in the community. We're people that are trying to make a better town of it. We're not interested in tearing it down or destroying it like others are.
You're only guilty of good public service. You're not guilty of trying to control this town.
I don't know of it if I am. I've never...
Well, that's what they say.
Well, I know that's what they say, but you've got to remember that all they say isn't truth.
Does it hurt you that people like me and come here and, I mean, we're either fascinated with just the kind of uniqueness of plural marriage, polygamy, or we're come when there's lawsuits that are somewhat negative for the entire community. Does it hurt you? Does it hurt the community? And do we miss something when we focus on these issues?
I don't think it hurts the community particularly. The community has to come of age, and we have to be able to cope with the media. Every community does. And of course I know that the media is telling good things aren't really particularly newsworthy type things. But
you have to, do you resent it that the outside world only comes here when they want to focus on polygamy, or they want to focus on some negative lawsuit? Are there other things that we're missing in this community?
Well, I don't know what other things you could talk about.
But I mean, this community is not just polygamy and not just this lawsuit.
Well, of course it isn't. Well, of course it isn't.
What is it?
What is the community? It's a community in America where people live and enjoy life and go forward and raise their families and try to do the things that please as their God and please themselves, that in a way that very few communities do.
But you know the outside perception. We come here, we all kind of think you're strange people.
Oh, yeah.
You know, do you resent that?
Not necessarily. It doesn't bother me. Maybe it's because I've developed a certain shell that I can cope with it, but it doesn't bother me. And I find that thinking people accept people for what they are. They don't have that preconceived thing. I go to the League of Cities and Towns. I meet with the mayors on a monthly basis, and I meet with the people at the Western Arizona Council of Governments and I consider we're as much a part of America as anyone else.
And so if we get hung up on the fact that you guys practice polygamy or you do something else, we're missing a bigger picture.
Well, I think so. I think that but that bigger picture isn't as fun for the media. Because we're doing so many good things in our community. Our young people, we've got some of the finest young people in America, and we have less drugs because we have a strong home structure. And those kind of things help. We have a strong community feeling, and those things are good. They're the things that America's lost, is these very things that we're trying to hold to. Set polygamy aside. And you'll find out that the people here are trying to hold to the things that made America great.
Are these dissidents that you now have, are they the beginnings of the big city problems that we're going to see?
Well, I think so.
You're going to get, aren't you afraid with TV and new roads and cable access? You're going to have drugs here in no time whatsoever.
Well, I suppose we'll have to cope with those things. But the more that we can teach our people, and we've got to come of age. We can't live in a shell, not in America. And freedom is freedom, whether it's in Colorado City or anywhere else. And our kids are as close to a telephone or they can hit the highway and be gone as well as anybody else. And unless we can do something that helps them to feel good about the community and want to be here and want to join in and do something that's better than what's happening in the big cities, that's the things I want to do. I want to provide jobs. I want to provide schools and opportunities so that young people will want to stay and raise their families here.
And these dissidents, as you call them, don't threaten that?
I don't see that they do. I think that this is a matter of time, and they will have made their own decisions, and they'll have to go and live where they can live at peace.
Lovely. What else you want to add?
That's good enough.
Mayor Dan Barlow has spoken.